Chernobyl. Why am I saying it's such a happy voice? This is not a happy series so far. Jesus Christ. This is my reaction to episode 3 in the Chernobyl series. The name of it is Open Wide, O Earth. It's the title of the episode. So first, I want to talk about the first episode. Did a great job of creating confusion. Like, there was a lot of unknowns. Okay. The second episode, what did that establish? That established who's in charge and what can be done and what can't be done. But also, the end of the episode left you on a bit of a. Gotta stretch a little bit. The end of the episode left me kind of. I guess everybody was in the same boat. Kind of like on a cliffhanger. You think these 3 guys who've been tasked to basically stop a massive explosion have given up, but at the beginning of the third episode, you see that they went another way. Their backup systems come into play, and they continue on the mission and they complete their job, which is great. But then, I started to think that I'm starting to feel like, well, maybe the story is over with. There's not too much they can tell. The only thing that they've left out is how the reactor actually exploded and the full aftermath of it. But that's not. I don't say that to try and make an argument that the third episode is all filler. Now, I think I mentioned it in the other 2 reaction videos I did, but I was wondering why they would put so much focus on characters that basically did nothing to solve the situation. For instance, the young couple, the one he's a firefighter and his young wife is pregnant. Why would they put why would they even spend time on them when there's so much more important? I feel like so much more important characters and information that could be given to pull on heartstrings, right? It's an emotional thing. They need to draw the audience in from that perspective, and they do a great job of it, because I'm thinking about it as I'm watching her husband basically deteriorate and turn to what looks like a sausage. No offense. Dang, what would that be like? You're young, you've pretty much done everything that you're supposed to do in life. You went to school or whatever, you found the love of your life, you got a decent job, you're obeying the law, you're shucking and jiving, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and then something like this happens, and in an instant, you watch the love of your life basically just almost like disintegrate from the inside out, as they explained it in the episode. But you watch that and it's like, oh my, wow. And I'm like, no, that's why they had those that young couple in there. Okay, so then we're gonna. What else should I talk about? I should talk about the episode, right? What else? Where should I go with this? I think I'll talk about the KGB now. So anybody who's watched spy movies or anything like that, KGB isn't necessarily portrayed in the best light. I mean, they're just secret police, right? So you got those guys openly following a lot of the characters that we've come to know so far in this series, and one of them winds up getting arrested. I mean, she's pretty much just lost her mind because of an incident in the hospital. She's there to gather information on why this reactor exploded in the first place, and they still haven't given the answer out yet. There's still so much mystery surrounding why it exploded, which of course makes me want to watch the rest of it. But yeah, that's the introduction of the KGB. They do a great job of portraying the head of the KGB as a real, I guess, spooky individual. That's the best way I could put it. Let's see what else here. Oh, I should talk about they take some time to explain what are the actual effects of the exposure to this type of radiation. What's going to happen? It takes some time to explain it and also show it. Like I've already said, they shown the young firefighter basically just melt, and the effect that had on his wife, and they got so much love is coming out their eyes and ears and all that good jazz. But he's gone, and she's been around him, and there's still a lot of radiation coming from him. So now it's been on her because she's hugging and kissing him, and oh man, you just like, oh, I can't believe what I'm watching. So the two characters that we've been introduced to, I guess I should get his name. Probably the next episode I'll get his name. He's basically the savior of the situation. He's like an expert in nuclear science. And then there's a guy who was higher up in government. They're basically working hand in hand trying to solve the situation. But they have, up until now, to the most part, they have solved the fire and put it out. But now they're I'll get to that in a minute. But now they need to control the heat caused by these interactions that are happening. But before that, they get to, or is it right around the same time? They take a moment to explain what actually is happening to these individuals, how it's happening on a molecular level, and it's DNA and stuff like that. And I'm like, what? Like, it's not getting through this thick skull of mine, right? I can understand it, but I can't visualize it. That's a better way to put it. So, of course, they do the visualization, but they explain it like this. So, what is it? So the structure of that creates a body, blood vessels and major organs and things like that are basically just break down from inside out. And I'm like, what? It's like, talk about a misuse, right? Like, I only say that because I feel like it's just, thinking about it, it's really, 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 it's out of this world to think about something like this. Human beings trying to harness something that could be this devastating to us. I know I keep bringing it up, but exposure to that type of radiation should be saved for individuals who commit the worst of worst crimes. I feel that'd be a great punishment versus lethal injection or life in prison. You should be exposed to that stuff. Yeah. So what else was I gonna say? Yeah, I guess I did a decent job. I guess I did a decent job of telling you how it was affecting the human body, but I don't have a degree in this stuff. So I'll talk about their solution to keep the reactions cool. They need to dig underneath the reactor that exploded and keep it cool so it won't continue to react, and because it's never going to turn off basically. So keep it cool so it can continue. Keep it cool so it won't continue to bury itself or dig itself through the earth and get to water basically, and then everything is gone. So they call in these miners. Now these guys they did a great job of portraying these individuals as no nonsense manly men basically. And what do they do? They're successful. So much in the episode, they're making strides in order to correct this issue. What else? What else happened in this episode? See the young couple suffer. Get a better explanation to what's happening to these individuals that were exposed to it. The miners come in, and they're actually, I feel like those miners are somewhat of like a comedic relief. I mean, there's pretty much no joy inside this incident, but those guys' attitude and the way they see life is so funny. I feel like it helps balance it out a little bit, just a little bit. I talked about KGB. I feel like I did. Yeah, I talked about KGB. What else? What else happens in there? I just want to see the next episode. physicist, the woman who came in and helped the first guy, helped him out some. She's trying to get to the bottom of why this incident happened, and she's making strides towards it. But she kind of loses it in the hospital when she sees that a pregnant woman is intentionally being exposed to all this radiation and stuff like that. I mean, it's her husband. She's in love. I understand that. And she gets arrested by the KGB, but then she winds up getting out, and they're still trying to figure out what's going on. So now I'm going to watch the next episode.